Hey guys, Tech Rally here, and welcome to the fourth lesson of How I See Code. In this lesson, we're going to be going over JavaScript objects. Let's refer to the w3schools.com documentation to figure out what JavaScript objects are. I think they do a really good example of showing you a real-life example and then comparing it to code. So referring to the documentation, we see that we can compare a JavaScript object to a real-life object, properties, and methods. In real life, a car is an object. A car has properties like weight and color and methods like start and stop. So imagine that you have some properties of a car like its name and then its fiat. You could have a model with 500, weight 850 kilograms, color is equal to white. And you could also have methods associated to an object, saying like you have car.start, car.drive, car.brake. All cars can have the same properties, but the property values differ from car to car. So what that means is that the car.name could be like Toyota, car.model could be 800, car.weight could be whatever you want it to be, but you still have the same properties. It's just that the values are different. So within an object, the name, the model, the weight, the color are the keys, and the value is the fiat, 500, and the 850 kilograms. For this lesson, I'm not going to worry about methods too much. I'm just going to refer to properties first. In the future lessons, once we start understanding how functions work, we'll refer to the object methods as well. So we've already learned that JavaScript variables are containers for data values, and we've seen that using strings and numbers. In our case, we can also assign JavaScript variables to objects as well. So if you look at the example here, the car variable is assigned to an object with a type, model, and a color key. And for this specific car, we want to give it a value of fiat, 500, and white. Let's open up a JavaScript REPL and I can show you a few examples. In our JavaScript REPL, we're going to create our first object and define it with a variable called dog. So let's say const dog, and we'll give it a key of name, age, and adopted. So let's give it a value of happy because that's the name of the dog. The age is 1 and adopted is true. Awesome. Let's console log out the dog and run it. Awesome. It says name is happy, age is 1, adopted true. What if we want to be specific and only want to see the name? What we can do is just refer to dog.name. And when we run it here, it says happy. Perfect. You could do that for all the other keys as well. So say console.log, dog.age, console.log, dog.adopted. Perfect. We have the object itself that has the name, age, and adopted. And if we want to target specific keys, we can say happy 1 true by saying dog.name, dog.age, and dog.adopted. You could have nested objects as well. So let's just say const dog2, and we'll say name is Jack, age is 3, adopted is false. And maybe we'll add more details that is specific to this object. So we could say description, currently not adopted, pending approval. And we'll say healthy, true. Let's comment this out really quick so we don't see that code. And what we can do now is say console.log dog2. And when we run it, we have the name, age, adopted, and details. And within the details key, we refer to another object that has the key of description and healthy. We can target those specific keys as well by just using the dot notation. So you could say console.log dog2.details, and we'll console log that out as well by running it. And now we get the dog2.details here, and I'll just comment this one out so it's a little less noisy. And what we can even do here is say console.log dog2.details.description, console.log dog2.details.healthy, and run that. Perfect. So now we get the console.log doc2.details, and then we get the targeted key values of the description and healthy. Objects are super important in software development because generally that's how a lot of the data structure is going to come in when working with web applications. So how you structure your objects are very important. There's no clear-cut way on how you should structure your objects. For example, if I copy this code here and comment this out, and I could technically just move this description here, healthy here, remove this details key, and then I could just say doc2 dot description dot healthy. Let's remove this one here, and we could run this, and it gives me the same answer. The reason why I create a details key that refers to an object is because I wanted to group the details together for easier data reading. In the future, you really want to figure out what data can be grouped together to make it a little bit easier to read your data. Let's look at the example that we used in our previous lesson, and instead of just using numbers, let's try using the objects. In our numbers example, we have the option to click a number, then we reveal the number, click another number, and then we reveal another number. We've been able to do this using the number type, but let's change our code to start using objects instead. In our example, we have a value that is undefined, and we set that value when we call the change value, and we pass in a number. So what I'm going to do is remove this variable called value and call it number, and make it an object, and give it a key of result of 20. Now that the variable called value doesn't exist, this and this is not going to be valid anymore. I'm going to show you the first initialized result. So instead of just setting the reveal number to just value, we're going to say number.result. Let's save that and see what happens in our browser. In our browser, when I click reveal the number, it's going to reveal the number as 20. It's because we're referring to the variable that has an object called number.result. When I click number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, revealing the number won't do anything because we haven't hooked it up to handle object variable types. Let's go back to our code and fix that functionality. To change the value of result in our number object, what we need to do is first remove this and set the number.result equal to the num value. So now when we go back to our browser and I refresh the page, we'll reveal the number and it's initially 20. We'll click number 4 and reveal the number. It sets it to 4. Number 2, reveal the number. It sets it to 2. So going back to our code, we didn't really change too much in terms of how it was working before in terms of functionality, but instead of just using just a plain number to an associated variable, we created an object that contains one key, and that key is called result. So every time we want to change the value of this result, we have to say number.result equals num, because this function is associated to these onClick handlers. The reveal number is just going to reveal the number specific to this DOM element, and to reveal the result, we refer to it as number.result. I hope this lesson clears up how objects work. As a developer, it really is up to you on whether or not you want to use objects or numbers or strings. Every scenario is a little bit different, but in general, as a software engineer, and specifically in the front end, you're going to be dealing with objects a lot. Definitely recommend you to take a deeper dive into this and see what kind of objects you can make in your web applications. In the next lesson, we're going to be talking about functions. And if you have any questions about objects, leave them in the comments below. If you like content like this, like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next lesson.